I thank the Lord that social media did not exist when I was that age, because I have no idea what I would be posting, but I know it would not be good.
I know what I'd be posting. I'd be on OnlyFans.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Not Your Asian Women podcast. I'm Christine Chang.
I'm Shining.
Today, we're going to talk about social media, our relationship with social media, and how it can impact relationships. I've been talking to younger people about it. It's just interesting because they grew up with it. So their world is social media. It's weird. And then watching them date and, you know, they don't share certain things. We're Instagram official. It's interesting. It's interesting to navigate. I did have a little bit of that when I was dating, you know, what you want to share, what you don't, depending on how serious you are. And the thing is, what do you use social media for, too? Because people use it for different things. How would you say overall your relationship with social media is? Is it a positive thing in your life?
It's crack. Not gonna lie. I'm addicted. It's work, it's life, it's everything. It's my dopamine hit. Shit. I download the block app to block Instagram. You know what I did? I deleted that app.
It's true. I mean, if everyone's being honest, if you're on it a little bit, it is highly addictive. And that's one thing I want to do less is I like that it's a free platform that you can build a business. You can meet new people. You can discover all the cool new restaurants in your town. However, the night scrolling in bed, it's hard because it does make me, it's so comforting. It's like a cold night. I get in the sheets and I start looking at things. Tinker. I said, I want to go tinker on my phone. Part of it makes me really happy, but after a certain point, I'm like, okay, my eyeballs are red and my arm's tired from scrolling, so I gotta turn around on the other side, but then the battery's low and the cord doesn't go all the way. It's like a whole thing. I was like, oh, okay. I don't have an addictive personality in general, but I am addicted to scrolling on my phone when I open those apps.
Yeah, but those companies pay them engineers millions of dollars to design shit like that to keep you addicted, that dopamine hit. So it is hard, very hard to escape from that loop.
I felt like I was happier before social media, in an overall happiness. Like growing up and having, there's just right now the space has been collapsed between there's less romanticism, I feel, because everything's so quick. You know what people are doing. There's, you know, back in the day, if we wanted to call friends, like you call their house, their landline, or we'd like pass notes in class. There's a little bit of a delay. And it was just more simple. I always crave a more simple life. But at the same time, I'm like, wow, with the internet and a free platform to build a business and make money, our podcast, we can have thousands, tens of thousands, millions of people watch this for free. That is pretty amazing. So if you have a message that you want to get out to this world, hopefully it's a positive one. Hopefully it's more on the do-good side. You know, I think that's amazing. But I will acknowledge I'm happier. I was happier when times were more simple.
Yeah, but in general, like you said, social media had helped a lot of businesses, entrepreneurs, small-time independent artists. And without these platforms, they wouldn't be able to share their work with a lot of people. So it's double-edged sword. And if you don't have any self-control, like younger people, I can definitely see, you know, how they say Instagram caused a lot of young teen girl suicide rates go up. That's, you know, like, but for porn and video games, as for boys, have fucked up a lot of young boys. And I don't know how to.
It's mostly with the kids and the younger. When you're younger, when your brain's still developing, your sense of self-worth, I I have some nieces that are like tweens, and a lot of them they have phones. Their friends have phones. They have social media. It's just so different. You see when you're not invited to something, and when you fuck up, there's so many more ways to fuck up. I thank the Lord that social media did not exist when I was that age, because I have no idea what I would be posting, but I know it would not be good.
I know what I'd be posting. I'd be on OnlyFans.
You just, right, when you're younger, you just don't have the foresight of what some of your actions, like the impact. You don't think as long term.
Because when camera phone was invented, my stupid ass was sending nudes to boys I was dating at the time.
I did that as well. And I always think, like, at some point, I'm like, are these floating around the interwebs? Am I going to get blackmail porn or something like that?
I did ask my husband, and I said, yo, now that I'm kind of viral on the social media world, there might be a chance some bitter ex-boyfriends leak my shit, and just gonna let you know that it exists. And he was pretty funny about it. He said, well, do you look good?
He's cute. He's cute. Yeah, when you're younger, you just do. Yeah, of course, if I could go back, I'm like, oh, maybe, or just like not show the face or something. I would have been a little more mindful about it, for sure.
And these days, I think the environment is a lot more friendly or less judgmental to girls. And if a boy leaked this, it's like, what the fuck you doing? That's private photos. Instead of back in, say, the 90s, early 2000s, you know how Britney Spears was treated unfairly versus Justin Timberlake?
Yes.
So now but at the same time, still, just whatever you send, even if it's a private group message, just know whatever you say, whatever you send out, it has a chance to get leaked. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what me and my friend groups are saying, that shit. If this shit leaked, we're all gonna get canceled. The amount of racism going on.
Well, no, if you send those photos, or like even you're a guy, you send like a dick pic, she's showing all her friends. Maybe guys don't have as much of a problem with that, but when you flip it around, like, don't be surprised. Most likely they're showing it to their friends.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Boys already make up shit that they didn't exist already.
That's true.
Imagine send them nudes. Oh, the whole crew knows.
Absolutely. Oh, God, they're weird. Well, sometimes remember I was talking about how like some men are just so confident that they think that you're into them when you just like, you smile at them. She wants to fuck.
Yeah.
So delusional. And I think it's so offensive to me. Or maybe there's a part of me that wishes I had that kind of confidence.
I asked my husband, I was like, oh, were you like that? And when a female looks at you, smile, and then you just go, yeah, she wants to fuck my dick. And he said, why not?
It's so, I find it just so odd. There is a smile that is flirtatious. Come talk to me, all the things. But a lot of times, just being friendly and you smile and you say hi. Yeah. Not always I want to fuck.
Yeah. When I was in middle school, there was this boy. He happened to sit below the only clock that was hanging on the wall in the classroom. And I have ADHD, so I always check the clock every like 10 seconds and shit. And one day after the class, he came knock on my desk and said, bitch, can you stop looking at me? I'm like, boy, who are you?
And it's usually the ones that aren't the most attractive who accuse you of things. Do you notice that?
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, it's both. Like hot doggies will always be like, yeah, of course she wants me. But sometimes, especially when have been accused by someone who I'm like, I am not attracted to you. I promise I was not giving you signals.
Which is why little awkward, nerdy guys, they get me. They get me. They are a group of guys who do not read social cues. Even if you come off strong, they don't understand.
I think that's kind of Pete too. He has a little bit of that.
And I adore that. It's almost like, you know how like the perfect girl is the hot, cute girl, but don't know they're hot.
Yes.
It's the same thing. So adorable.
Those are the best men.
Best men. Yeah. Yeah. Like my husband, he was like that. He would I'd have to come off real strong. Semi showing my pussy a little bit to know that. To be obvious.
He's like, do you want to have sex?
What is this? Cover up. It's cold. Those type of guys are so adorable though. And then he would like talk about his D&D board game selections
and Dragons.
Stars and dinosaurs, and I just think it's the most adorable thing ever. And but I think like mass majority of boys, I think is, I don't know, it's not vicious. I don't think it's vicious, that confidence. Maybe
it's more
just
Delulu.
And
Delusional.
underlying maybe like projection perhaps is like they want females to look at them, just want us ride their dick, so they're projecting. It's a maybe I don't have a dick. I would never understand what it's like to walk around with a dick, or get random hard on in the middle of history class, so I can never empathize with that. Maybe it's biological driven, that they would just project, assume, wishful thinking.
Okay.
But I'd say most men are nice. They are few bad apples.
No, most of them are nice. I think it's more the delusion. I don't know. I find it, the times it's happened to me, I find it so offensive. Like, bro, I don't like you. So I dated a guy and then we stopped dating. And I was the type that was just friendly, that I would keep in touch like with people in general without having ulterior motives. And one time I was just like, oh, how are you doing? He's like, oh yeah, I met someone. I'm like, that's awesome. Da, da, da. I responded and then it was like a back and forth email. And then he was just like, I told you I have a girlfriend. Da, da. I was like, whoa. Whoa.
Dang.
He's like, never email me again. And I was like, what?
Maybe his girlfriend hacked into,
or maybe got mad, like, who is this chick? And then the other one, same thing. There was, I'm not going to say his name because he's kind of a well-known comedian now, but back then I think he was still building his reputation. I lived in New York at the time, and this is,
tell me after the pod, don't forget.
Okay, MySpace. This is MySpace time. I'm kind of dating myself. And he's like, hey, like I'm performing. Do you want free tickets to the show? And I like to laugh. I like to go laugh. I was like, sure, that sounds great. And there was a few back and forths. And then out of nowhere, I think it dropped off and I never like went to a show or something. And then he said, Christine, I have to apologize for leading you on. I was like, what? Because all I thought was like, oh, tickets. Okay, go to show. He's just like, I'm very in love with a woman named da da da, and I don't want to be unfaithful to her. I'm like, what? So maybe, again, like you said, maybe she found something and he's just feeling, I don't know, some kind of guy. And maybe his intention was he's hitting, that's how he hits on chicks, right? But to me, I did not view it like that at all.
Yeah, that's crazy. I think it's projection.
Yes. Yeah, it's never personal. It has nothing to do with you. Yeah. I just find it, I think I do admire having, because I'm the opposite. I'm never like, oh yeah, he likes me. I usually am more doubtful. I'm like, am I sure? Yeah, am I sure? Am I sure? Versus the other way.
For me, I could sense, there's like chemistry if it's pretty obvious. But the thing I'd have to take some time and observe. If he's like this to everybody, regardless, women, man, ugly bitches, and bitches that he want nothing to do with act the same, then it's just him. And if he takes a special attention and care towards me, then I know, oh, okay, then that would be my move. Do I want to reciprocate that? And it's like a game. But for the most part, like I said before, we can read if he has interest, romantic interest in you.
Strong Coffee Company, what do you think?
This is perfect for lazy bitches like me. You can just pour the powders in and put hot water. You wouldn't believe it. My eyes was smaller than this. But after that, I'm awake.
Use code.
Oh, yeah.
What's our code? Not Your Asian Women at
Yeah.
checkout for a nice little discount.
Enjoy your new crack.
We got a little sidetracked there.
Oh,
We're
sidetrack.
talking
Yeah,
about
going
social
back
media.
to social media. Yeah, we talked about, Instagram official.
official.
That's so dumb.
It's so funny. Oh my God. Because I remember when I was dating, and there was Instagram around, and I did date some guys where I felt like, can I share this? Or like, and I could tell they were not comfortable with sharing it, because I use social media whatever I'm doing, or if I'm inspired by something, I'll share it, and so it's just all facets of life, just like work, this is what I'm doing. So I usually didn't share it if I could tell, like, and most of the guys I did obviously weren't. I went through a stint where I was chasing emotionally unavailable men who either were not interested in being in a committed relationship with me or just not emotionally ready to. I found myself there. And so I wouldn't share. But I remember when I met Pete, there was just this automatic safety, and we were on the same page. I remember it was like second or third date. We went in this photo booth, and I really liked the picture. And it wasn't even a question. I did check with him just out of respect, because this is blasting it out publicly. But I just knew, I'm like, this is no big deal. This is me sharing, just like I share a plate of pancakes or something. It wasn't like, oh my God, I'm about to do it. There was none of that. It was just like, this is just a part of my life. That's how I viewed it. So I feel like if there's too much thought about that, there's definitely some unsureness and insecurity in one or both of the people.
I had definitely been both sides. And I think the difference is how much you care more. If one person cares more, then there's unbalance. And you would feel some type of way if that other person didn't want to make you public. Then you'd feel like, because that was me at one point. I would okay, fuck this. Every little bit of, if I didn't feel that you felt as strong as I felt, I don't give a second chance at all. I don't waste energy on. I have to feel, oh, this is equal amount of effort that want to make this. Then I if I feel that safety, like with Brad, I don't care. I don't care if it posed or not. We didn't even have a wedding here. I didn't ask for a ring. So if I felt that, oh, this is real love, then I'm not going to show it. It doesn't matter how other people feel.
Right. You don't feel a need
for
people to see.
It was back in the day, part of me, because maybe I had low self-esteem and I was trying to figure out who I was. And I used the partners I was with to seek for that validation. And that was part of it. Okay, you have to prove to the world, validate me. That type of mentality. So it wasn't about this guy or whatever. It was me. Now that I'm more mature, I think that's what it is. But I understand young people out there, you have to go through this. You have to go through this game and make me official or whatever. Then that means you love me. It's yeah, when you find your hobby, your passion, you're more secure. You really don't care, and you understand. Oh, this love is not a game.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. I will say that every situation's different, but in general, I mean, because you feel whether there's the safety or not. But I think in general, just a guy is pretty active on social media and they share all bits of their life except for you. I would say that that's a flag. Unless there's some people who they're just like, my romantic relationship is sacred to me and I don't necessarily feel the need to share that out to the world. But I'm like, if he's sharing everything else, though, at some point you'll be in a thing because you're just spending time together, right? So if there is a purpose avoidance of that, I view that as a flag. And every story is different, but just an in general thing. That's what I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. Even back in the day when I was like that, if I sense a little bit of imbalance, I'm out. I won't let myself get too hurt. And in no way I put someone before me. I think healthy relationships should be two individuals. You have to love yourself as a whole thing. Then this person can add values and you build something together like a partnership. Marriage is partnership. So if you don't have that, don't waste an ounce of energy and don't even blame. I feel like it's you're like, yeah, like you said, if you feel low self-worth, you have to do the work first. Love yourself, find confidence in work and values, and then have a healthy mindset and going into whatever that is, social media or relationships will be healthy. But if you don't have that, anything can be addiction. Social media, drugs, food, shopping, relationships, sex, it's all distractions to try to like heal some part of you.
The relationships too,
Yeah.
right?
But if you have healthy, just like, I want to wind down a little bit, have, glass of beer here and there. If you can't have that without getting yourself black out drunk, then it's the same thing with social media. If you just, if you're at the end of the day want to scroll a little bit to wind down, that's fine. But to a point where like you're physically ill from it, then maybe not. Yeah.
Do you ever snoop on social media?
I'm like you, like I'm getting to an age where my body will not allow me to be on it too long. My eyes will start blurring, like tears dropping off or something. Like I can't really see well. If it's too much light, then I'm like, oh, okay, this is not helping anymore. I'm not enjoying it anymore.
Yeah, the snooping. Wait, did you understand what I meant?
Oh,
By
the alarm?
snooping. No, snooping
I
like
didn't know.
you see what people are up to, or just say if you're single and you're dating a guy and you want to see what he's up to, like who's tagging him in his photos or where was he? Like snoop, like who is this person?
Yeah, my bad. I had for sure.
women
Women
are good at that.
detectives. Yo. FBI or CIA should hire women as we could tell you where ISIS is at. We'll track their women, their kids.
I love, like, yeah, when my friends are dating, I'm like, does he have an Instagram account? Can I see it? And I look, you looked at the tagged photos first. And some people, they turn off, like, they don't allow anyone to tag them. I'm like, okay. Or, then I see. It's one thing, if you look at what someone chooses to post, whatever, dude. But I want to see what people are tagging you in. Or, I remember when I was dating, there's so many ways to find out about people.
So many ways. And I remember that episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Kim
Whatever.
was talking about that too. Like
That
he
she's
was, yeah.
snooping?
She's really great at looking for
Oh.
clues.
Yes.
Yeah, women are naturally just great at this.
Oh, totally.
I'll, I still I'm working on this bit, but I used to track or snoop this ex-girlfriend of my husband. Out of, there's always this one girl, because he dated a lot. But the way, because when you get into a relationship, you talk about your past and whatnot. And I just knew the way he talked about her was special. Even if I feel secure with him, part of me just want to know, okay, what is this bitch about? All right, let me see. Let me find out. It ain't about insecurity or low self-esteem. It's just, like, I like a little bit drama. I like to stir up shit a little bit. So I start following her, and she's, and then I start investing my my time. Like, now I want to know, I witnessed her, like, after her and my husband dated, and she dated several different guys, and then I start investing her in, like, as a friend. Like, I start wishing her, oh my god, like, she broke up with this guy again. I wonder what he did wrong. I hope she's doing well. I hope she recovers. And then, like, after like 3-4 relationships, because there are times I would stop snooping because I was busy in my own life too, and then sometimes I think about it. It's like, oh, I wonder how she's doing now.
What is she up to?
And then last time I checked, she was married and had a kid, and I was like, oh my god, that's so beautiful. And I showed my husband, and then he was like, are you fucking sick? What the fuck are you trying to do? I'm like, no, you don't understand. She's my friend now. I want her to do well. And it seems like she's settled and then in love and then have a family and all that too now. So it's like, this is good. So
Yeah, I don't snoop as much now, unless it's more like entertainment, right? So again, if my friends are dating someone, or with some people, I'm like, I haven't seen them in a while. What are they up to? I'll look it up. But but they say, I actually don't do this anymore. When I was younger, they say no one like checks your stories more than someone who hates you. Have you heard that? Like, they want to see what you're like, then your haters. And I think when I was younger, I would do stuff like that, like, ugh, what is she up to? And now, if I don't care for someone, I never look at their shit again. If I'm not friends with someone anymore, exes and stuff. I had a friend who kept looking at her exes stuff. She was still healing from it. I'm like, stop. One, you shouldn't be friends anymore. If you don't have a relationship anymore, and it didn't end well. I'm like, stop fucking looking at his shit. You're just hurting yourself over and over again.
Yeah, that came from maybe like some other traumas and stuff, and just like feeling that anxiousness is an addiction too. Yeah, anyways, from what I heard, ever since I started doing comedy shit, I start finding out rules. Apparently, so like some comedian friend joked about, because I like their posts, their stories. Apparently, I was told, if you like someone's story, that means you want to fuck them. And I said, bruh, I must be a hoe, because I like everybody's stories. Apparently, it's a thing in the young Gen Z.
Men or both men and women, Gen Z.
Men.
So stupid. It's so stupid.
Yeah, they be sending like, I don't know, maybe because there are more males in comedy than females, or like, I don't know, but I guess it's a rule if you always in there, because I heard I've seen a girls meme about that too, like, oh, if a boy always in your story, liking your post, like your stuff, that means he has a crush on you or something like that.
Well, I do have a question, and I think from my experience, men do it more than women. After you break up with someone and just say you don't talk to this person anymore, and you're the one that didn't want a relationship with her. Maybe you're in a new relationship, yet you still watch every single one of her stories. Why? Why do you still do that? It's a genuine question. I want to know why if you're a person that does that, why do you still do that? If you still had a relationship with them or something, or you're like, okay, we maintain a friendship, I'm just seeing what she'll do. But if it ended badly, you didn't want to be in a relationship with her, you're dating again, or you have a new relationship, why do you keep, and it's usually they're like the first one who watches it. It's like, why are you still, are you obsessed with her? What is it? What is it?
I've had incident like that. A guy I was dating, then we took a break, and he would send me message like, oh, wrong person, oh, I called I meant to call someone else. And then later on he admitted he learned this pickup online, that you do that to keep yourself in that girl's head, because you do that to like remind her, oh, I'm still here. It's a way to, it's a game or something. And I was like, okay. It's over, bro.
Yeah, I think women, when they're done, they are done.
Women, yes, when it comes to breakup, it takes a lot for women to decide if this is over. It's gonna take little small disappointments and accumulates into a point where she goes, this is it. But once she decides, there's no fucking going back.
Absolutely.
But for men,
they keep the doors open.
They won't know it until that happens.
That's true. And then
they regret and want to win her back, and it's over. And then she's already moved on and start dating. And then they be saying shit like, oh, because she's old, she always wanted to leave now. But do like she give you probably many chances.
Absolutely. And I think I actually hear that a lot, like from guy friends, and it just goes over their head. Like the breakup came out of nowhere. Like, I guarantee you she's been trying, and I'm certain she's been communicating with you for years about this, and you didn't listen. And I'm like, you made your own bed. Just, you learn from it and you move forward. And I think a lot of them don't know how to process that, the acceptance of that and moving forward. They're still caught up on breakups from like years ago, decades ago. I'm like, holy, like the one that got away. I don't believe in that. The one that got away, whatever the fuck. But I'm like, just you learn and you move forward.
Yeah, I think for sure she communicated, and it's never a big thing. It's always the day-to-day small.
By 1,000 cuts.
Yes. That divorce lawyer.
I forgot his name.
I know. Whoa. Leave it down. Yeah. But he said during one of the podcasts, he said there was one case where both of them didn't really know how they got to this point. And by speaking with them separately, the wife said, he used to fill up my milk, or there's this protein bar I like. Whenever that's low, he will buy new protein bars for me. And one day he stopped buying it, and
she
I
knew
never
it was done.
Yeah. And then the lawyer asked the husband, and the husband said, she stopped sucking my dick. That was why. It's all about these little things.
Absolutely.
And then too, like, as simple as dudes are, I believe that divorce lawyer, for husbands, sex is the most important thing.
they feel connected after sex and physical.
Yeah, no couple goes to his office and say, "Oh, sex is fire, but we want a divorce." That never happens. And for her, I guess that little bit of effort is what makes the husband attractive, and then he stopped trying because now he got that pussy. Maybe he started taking her for granted. And it's never who's at fault. I think maybe both party. It's never, oh, we just, you see, if you females out there just cook more and start sucking dick more, then you won't get divorced. It's not like that. We biologically, we just value different things. It's a lot more than just sex for us, like it or not. Like, it just takes a lot more to make us happy. That's just the way it is. And it's the little small things that you pay attention to. If she values, fresh flour,
That you notice the little things. That makes me so happy. Right? It feels like they care. Like, oh, you see me. You see, and it could be the littlest thing. It doesn't necessarily have to be like romantic. One time I was wearing, I think it's Alexander Wang is the brand, and these black boots, and they have these chrome, like a little like heel where the chrome is showing, so it makes it kind of like a very like chic city shoe, but it's in the back, you can't really see. And I wore them and I was at an event, and this one man came up to me and he's like, your outfit and those shoes, he's like, that little detail in the back is, and then heart eye emoji. I'm like, thank you so much, you noticed. Especially for a man to notice that. And he was
gay.
No, I'm pretty sure. I was gonna say he wasn't gay, very masculine, and I was like, damn.
Maybe they're masculine
Who
guys.
are more creative, and
Yeah.
you notice those things. But I noticed how good that made me feel.
Just little small things you pay attention to. And for me, it was kiss in the morning.
Is important to you.
Important to me. And yeah, my husband, he would he goes to work every day.
I don't.
I'm in the creative field. I'm working all the time in my head. I just don't wake up at certain time. Anyways, so before he goes to work, he will always kiss me. And even if I was asleep, I just knew it. And if one time I thought he didn't, I got mad.
Yeah.
And I called him and I said, come home. You kissed me before you go again. He said, I did.
You're half asleep.
Yeah.
That's funny that you say that, because now that's important to me too. That Pete always, before he leaves, well, he'll be like, I'm leaving, and give me a kiss. And I remember one time he didn't do it. I think maybe because he didn't want to wake me up, and I felt completely abandoned.
I know. It's the little small things. Yeah, it's never big. It's never big with us women. Yeah.
That's so funny. Oh.
Well, let's go back to the social media.
Well, I think what helps is if you're clear on what the purpose of, for you, being on social media. For me, it's mostly work, actually. I don't know. When I was younger, I sometimes, I was like, what should I post? But my friends aren't going to like this. But then, you care a little more. And after I got clear why I'm on here, I'm not here to impress my friends. I'm here to make money. And if my friends want to unfollow me, which I totally get, if you don't want like a bunch of podcasts or my work stuff blasting through, I totally get it. We're friends in real life, which is better. Okay. I don't need you to watch all my videos. Like, what? You didn't watch my podcast? I don't expect you to. So for me, it's mostly work. I like using it as networking. I like to discover what's in. So I'm usually like between P and I, because he's healthy and smart. He's not on social media. I know about the new restaurants and stuff like that. Or he'll say like a news story. And he's like, "Did you hear this?" I said, "Babe, I'm on social media. All the most important stuff will come through, immediately." Like, sorry. So that's what I use it for. My real friends have my phone number. My real friends, we come over each other's houses. We eat hot pot. We don't need to take a bunch of photos together and post it on social. They say your best friends. Have you seen that meme or that saying? If you're best friends, you barely have any photos together. And I have found that to be true. So I try to actually make it a point once in a while. I'm like, we should take a picture together, more for my own memories. But the people I actually make an effort to take pictures with, it's more for networking or a different type of friend group.
Yeah, for sure. Unless you are a creator, there's no reason to waste that much of time consuming content.
Right.
And you need to have, like, with not just social media, like every aspect of your life, you to have some healthy boundary. And yeah. And us women, we like that rare species of men who don't have social media.
Yeah, that they don't need to be on it. Well, there's a type of man I know that who they're players, so they don't want to be on it because they don't want to be exposed. That's different. But the ones that just don't, even women who don't need it. There's an actress, Greta Lee. She's becoming very popular. She was in the movie Past Lives this last year. If you haven't seen it, I love that movie. I looked her up and then she's on Instagram. Damn, I think she's even cooler now because she doesn't need an Instagram.
That's real. The younger, it's Gen Alpha or Gen Z? Gen
Z.
Alpha after Gen Z.
Yeah.
It's considered uncool to post. Like if you have a lot of Instagram posts, they look at you like, ew, why do you do that?
I like that. I actually kind of like that because
that time has changed and it's always like the pendulum swings.
Totally. Well, our generation, I used to share a lot more. Like when P and I first got together, because I was just I know I'm in a good place when I'm self-expressed. I'm inspired. So I think things are funny. And maybe it's because I have more followers now. It's more public. It's not just my friends. There's people who I completely don't know. They don't need to see every detail of my life. I realize I'm like, actually, there's some things like you have to earn to know these things about me. And then so that's changed. That's definitely changed with me, that I share less of my personal. I'm more discerning about that.
Yeah. And then I have, for me, because I'm a comedian, there is a value to being real, raw, vulnerable. So when I feel safe, or I feel like, if I open myself up in this, maybe can help people or relate or help with my comedy or bits. So everything is more like that aspect. But if it's something my husband, he hates it. He hates everything about social media.
Same with Pete.
We have funny moments, interesting conversations, especially when we smoke. And I begged him many times, let's record, let's do a podcast together. He just said no. I respect that. Because to be honest, most of our couples we see were family vloggers.
Oh my God.
9 out of 10, they're phonies.
They're
no longer together.
Oh
like I feel like it's fraud.
I think it's fraud too. And I actually think it doesn't, because some people do think it's all the highlights. So they do think like, oh my gosh, couple goals. And I value being real too. There are some amazing moments, of course, being married. But then I'm like, you could also show with how amazing, if it gets super amazing, it can drop the other way too. And they'll never share shit like that. And I've seen some influencer couples, who are literally fighting, disrespecting each other. Just take the fucking picture. And they're really good looking, their heads touch. And then that's the one that they post with some lovey-dovey quote. Complete bullshit. But I mean, maybe some view it, maybe it's transactional and they get sponsorships and stuff. Like we have this aesthetic and we have to look like the perfect parents and all that. But I think that's like the older generation, that it's almost like Instagram looking more magazine like back in the day, right? Where the younger generations now, they like the raw look, not overly edited or not edited at all.
I like it.
I
this
like that too.
I think people now
God.
just gravitate towards authenticity
Because
and perfect. Always the low quality videos go off.
It's true. Maybe because it's more relatable, that they can connect to it. When it's too perfect, there's that separation. I think more and more people feel lonely too, and so they are craving for something like, can you just be real? And I know there was a survey someone put it out for like women, like, what would you like to see different on social media? They're like, we want people to stop using those fucking heavy beauty filters. I want to see what you actually look like.
Yo, have you seen Chinese beauty filters? God damn.
I can see how that can skew someone's the way that they view themselves. You know, young women, or I probably all walks of life, they go into plastic surgeon offices and then they'll filter their face and say, this is what I want to look like. I'm like, that's not a real gauge. It's making you look like, no one has skin like that. It looks like an AI doll. You want to look like a doll. And I think that's kind of the trend too with some of the plastic surgery, is like they're going towards the doll look. I mean, if that genuinely makes you happy, do it. I don't think it's healthy though.
Yeah.
It's, don't you think, like, you think of women back in like 90s and before, that type of beauty is very rare these days. And people now, even if you have it, like actually now that I'm getting older, my lips are like kind of like shrinking. But, you know, someone asked me like, are your lips real? It's the first time I got asked that. I'm like, they are real. Oh my God. Because it's so normal to get lip injections now.
Yeah. And yeah, your lips are very full for Asians, I guess.
They were even bigger before. But it's funny with beauty standards. I think over in Asia, they don't like the big lips.
Yeah.
Right?
No, yeah. And I gotten asked if I'd done nose job. And I got really happy. I'm like, yo, never had compliment like this. Yeah. But yeah, going back to the relationship with social media, I'm glad I'm the same way that I didn't start using at a very young age. Partly because it didn't exist. We're all like that.
Tough.
I'm a lot more mature handling the comments and stuff, and I understand it's all fake, it's not real, and I don't care what these people really say. And
It's not real. You choose what you want to post.
exactly. And then I understand, not gonna lie, comparing is just human nature, but I can catch that and then go, oh, okay, this is FOMO speaking. This is anxiety speaking. This isn't real. When you have more balanced nervous system, you understand you can separate from good and bad. But when you're not, then it's harder. So it's just harder for the younger generation. But the thing is, like, there's no going back. They're not going to revoke social media. It's only getting more immersive from this point. To me, I have a theory. I feel like it's just human vetting. It's like if you get defeated by this, then maybe it's like your species will not survive. You have the more advanced technology get, the more self-control and discipline we have to ride above the wave instead of getting sunk in. And I just think about when globalization happened, low-skilled workers lost their jobs, right? It's the same thing happening with AI. People are talking about how dangerous it is. You know, you're going to replace these workers. That's part of me. Like, I do feel empathy, but it's just part of human progression, I guess. It's just the way it is. Maybe find a way. I'm not gonna say shit like to truck drivers, learn to code. It's not like that. It just That's what it is. We can't take care of everybody.
Right. There is a natural progression of
Natural-
things. Like I know every story is different. Like when the rise of Uber, and there was the strikes with like the taxi, and initially I was just like, dude, this is the direction the world's going. Can you drive for Uber then? And I understand what unions are for, to protect certain things. And if you see an older man who's been driving taxi for decades, to have to switch to that, I do have empathy for that. But at the same time, it's like, can you make an effort to adapt, right? To adapt to what the world is doing, and the companies that survive are able to adapt. And there's been very big companies like Blockbuster, where you could use to, if you're younger, it's where you used to rent VHS tapes, you would, or DVDs, you would have to go physically go in, and they could have anticipated the direction that I was going and started streaming and doing
like
the thing.
Netflix.
Netflix, yeah, but they didn't, and so now they're retro.
Exactly.
They're gone.
It's hard to empathize with corporations like that, but it's the same with individuals. If you don't adapt and notice the trend of things and then keep learning, progress yourself, that's just the way it is.
But that's putting yourself in a vulnerable position, and I think it's hard for me to understand, because my mom always said, try not to put yourself in a position where you don't have options. So that's why she would always like build skill. Don't, the worst thing is to feel like you're stuck and someone like is holding you by the nose. And so if I can help it, I'm not going to put myself in a situation where I feel stuck. And also a willingness to do things. Like, I like have you read Tim Ferriss's books? He wrote the 4-Hour Work Week, and he has a podcast now. He's an entrepreneur guy, like, I think very bright. And he was saying how, the jump from 9 to 5 to being an entrepreneur could be very, very scary for some people, right? Because you have the security of certain things. And he said when he decided to do it, he mapped out what is the worst case scenario that can happen here. I can fail, and the worst case is I'll start bartending or like waiting tables, and then I'll figure this shit out. But he's like, but there is that option to do that. He's like, and I'll have to live, like within my means, but it's possible. And some people aren't willing to do that. They'll be like, I'm not going to wait tables. I'm not, right? But if you're put in a position where you have no choice, like the willingness to do that, I've heard quite a few people say like they're not willing to do certain things. And I do think it's a quality that successful people have, that
adaptability.
you do, yes. Yeah.
Keep learning.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
And you have to be humble too. Like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to bartend, but it gives me the schedule, a flexible schedule, so that I can continue. Like, let me try again and learn, and let me try to build it differently.
The reality is resources are limited, and we can't take care of everybody. There are institutions put in place that can help these people less fortunate, but we can't put a pause on technology just to wait for everybody to learn how to get used to it. Then that just, I think it's just human progression. Like imagine we're all like animals, because we're animals anyways, and there are volcanoes and meteors, and like you watched Animal Planet before, natural disasters, all kinds of shit, unpredictable shit happens. Planet has to, like plants, animals, fish, all have to adapt. If your species is not able to, you die, you go extinct.
Yeah,
that's it.
I think, because my parents are refugees. It's like in their blood, so it's something that I witnessed, and I'm like, of course, like have a plan B, right? Have money for a rainy day.
That's why when you're do well, you don't go off and spend it. You save. Especially when you're doing well, you need to conserve. And in case of raining days, like at least they say 6-month emergency fund.
I would do a year.
Yeah, it's the same with us. That I feel more secure. So these are the tools you can, yeah.
I mean, I just feel it makes life a little easier if you're able to adapt. Anyways, we got sidetracked again. We're talking about social media. Well, see, social media somehow weaves into everything. But yeah, I am a little, I'm curious how it impacts the younger people and how it's going to impact like them developing into adulthood. Is it going to have like that strong of an impact on them? Like, I just hope it's not detrimental on their mental health.
I'm hopeful. I think it should be very helpful because for overall the positives trumps the negatives. A lot of independent artists, companies, small businesses thrive on it. Without it, they'll be unable to make it because the gatekeepers.
Right.
Yeah.
It's really gotten rid of what is it, like the middleman with certain
Yeah,
things?
it's like decentralization.
Yes. Like you can create a music career. You don't have, or you can be an actor. You can get discovered that way. You can create your own movies on YouTube, your own podcast show.
Yeah. Perhaps it's better to have AI as world leaders.
Oh my God. I mean, given what's, at least in the US, what we've been having.
Yeah. All right.